I'm Jono. Unreal versus Godot. Let's see which one ships the game.
The real-time engine, subsidized by the most played game in the world, and the open-source engine that a competitor's pricing decision turned into the default alternative. One was built by a founder writing shareware in 1991 and became the visual ceiling for interactive media. The other was built as a private consulting tool in the late 2000s and became the license guarantee that no commercial engine can replicate. One had a crash that overwrote a project with a different project entirely. The other had an upgrade that left a project unusable in both normal and recovery mode. Unreal Engine and Godot, the engine for teams that need the highest visual fidelity in real-time output, and the engine for developers who need the certainty that the licensing terms will never change. Maximum capability against maximum independence. The choice is not which engine is better, it is what the project requires and what risk the developer can accept. Unreal Engine began with shareware games in 1991. The engine built for a specific game in 1998 became the product. The fourth generation opened to the public in 2014, free since 2015 with a 5% royalty after the first million in gross revenue. The fifth generation in 2022 introduced dynamic global illumination and virtualized geometry that changed what real-time graphics could achieve. Virtual production workflows using display volume stages became the industry standard for film and broadcast. A battle royale game subsidizes the engine's development. Over 800 employees were laid off in 2023. The founder stated they had been spending more than they earned. Additional reductions followed in 2026. The crash that replaced one project with another. The rigging asset corruption that made months of connected work unreachable. A point release that broke visual scripting in blank new projects. Regression anxiety normalized as standard practice. Source control mandatory rather than optional. The most capable real-time engine available, carrying update risks that the community manages through backup discipline rather than trusting the update process. Godot began as a private consulting engine in the late 2000s. Open-sourced in February 2014 under a license that allows commercial use, without obligation to release the game's source code, the fourth generation shipped in March 2023 after a 3-year rewrite. In September 2023, a competitor's pricing decision sent developers searching for alternatives. Downloads spiked. The migration wave created mainstream credibility the engine could not have bought through marketing. In 2022, governance moved to an independent foundation. A separate commercial company provides console porting and professional services. Version 4.6 shipped in January 2026, focused on stability and polish. The 4.4 upgrade that crashed a project into an unusable state, the scripting language, Regression that caused memory exhaustion and crashed mobile devices, a crash that deleted the project metadata file, an update that broke custom resource types. The upgrade anxiety that exists in the previous engine exists here at a smaller scale. The accumulated friction of a rapidly iterating open-source project where version updates carry regressions that the community documents and works around. The visual capability comparison is decisive in one direction. Unreal Engine provides dynamic global illumination, virtualized geometry, digital human creation, and virtual production workflows that no other engine matches. Godot's three-dimensional pipeline improves with each release, but does not approach the visual fidelity the commercial engine delivers. For projects where photorealistic real-time output is the requirement, the comparison ends at the rendering layer. The accessibility comparison is decisive in the other direction. Godot's scripting language is learnable in days. The scene and node system makes project architecture visual and explicit. The engine runs on modest hardware. Unreal Engine requires understanding rendering pipelines, asset management, scripting systems, and platform deployment at a depth that demands significant technical investment. For a solo developer or a student building their first game, Godot provides a productive environment in hours. Unreal Engine provides the same after weeks or months. The licensing comparison is the structural difference the community references most. Unreal Engine is free with a 5% royalty after the first million. The terms are set by a corporation that has laid off hundreds of employees and depends on a single game's revenue to subsidize the engine. Godot is free under a license that cannot be revoked or changed for existing code. The foundation governance prevents corporate capture. The competitor's September 2023 pricing decision demonstrated the risk of depending on commercial licensing terms. Godot's license eliminates that category of risk permanently. The two-dimensional comparison favors Godot entirely. Godot's two-dimensional tooling is the best in the open source category and exports to desktop, mobile, and web from a single project. Unreal Engine is not designed for two-dimensional games. For any project where the output is two-dimensional, Godot is the correct choice without qualification. The ecosystem depth comparison favors the commercial engine. The marketplace, the middleware integrations, the plugin library, and the volume of professional training material are larger. Godot's asset library and community resources are growing rapidly but remain smaller. For a team that depends on third-party tools and middleware for production workflows, the commercial engine's ecosystem provides options the open source engine does not yet match. Someone building a game where visual fidelity is the competitive advantage should use Unreal Engine. The lighting, geometry, character creation, and virtual production capabilities are unmatched. The team must have the technical depth to manage the complexity and the discipline to maintain source control and backup procedures that the engine's crash history makes mandatory. Someone building an indie game, a two-dimensional game, or a project where gameplay matters more than graphics should use Godot. The scripting accessibility, the two-dimensional tooling, and the license guarantee provide a development environment that removes commercial risk from the equation entirely. The three-dimensional capability is sufficient for stylized aesthetics. It is not sufficient for photorealistic output. Someone choosing between the two engines should ask two questions. Does the project require visual capability that only the commercial engine provides? And can the developer accept the complexity, the crash risk, and the royalty structure that come with that capability? If the visual requirement demands dynamic illumination, virtualized geometry, or virtual production workflows, the commercial engine is the only option. If the visual requirement is below that ceiling, the open source engine provides a productive, accessible, and permanently free alternative. Someone evaluating the long-term sustainability of both engines should consider the funding models. The commercial engine depends on a game's continued revenue and a royalty model tied to commercial success. The open source engine depends on foundation governance, community contributions, and a commercial services company that provides console porting. Both models carry risk. The commercial engine's risk is corporate. The open source engine's risk is community. Neither model is guaranteed indefinitely. The commercial engine has more resources. The open source engine has more structural protection against pricing changes. The founder who built shareware games in 1991 and created the visual ceiling for real-time media, and the two developers who built a consulting engine and open-sourced it under a license no corporation can revoke, represent the two ends of what game development tools can be. Maximum visual capability at maximum complexity with corporate dependency on one side, maximum accessibility at maximum license independence with visual limitations on the other. The crash that overwrote a project with a different project, and the upgrade that left a project unusable in recovery mode. Both engines break, both lose work, both require discipline from the developer that the tools themselves do not enforce. For the team that needs the ceiling, the commercial engine provides it at the cost of complexity and corporate dependency. For the developer who needs independence, the open source engine provides it at the cost of visual limitation and ecosystem depth. The project determines which cost the developer pays. The capability works on both within each engine's scope. The relationship with the company or foundation behind each engine is where the differences live. Capability or independence. The game determines which matters more. The license determines which risk the developer carries.